Hey everyone, this is Cutting Down the Nets Thursday, February 1st. Going to quickly run through the games in my pool. I have made 3 plays so far, but looking to make a handful more. So let's dig into our lineup for today. The games I've played are in green. I played UC San Diego last night at 9.5. I played North Dakota last night at -1, and I've played Oregon State plus 10.5 this morning. So looking at Cal State Northridge UC San Diego game first, I had a note in here that says median is probably more realistic. And if you look at that, these data points, 12-6, 14-3, 13-1, 12, come out to be, right around 13 as kind of an aggregate, whereas Paddy is at 19 and the actual spread's at 9.5. So I think two things are a little off there. That Paddy number is a little high just due to some recent performances, both good and bad, on the UC San Diego side and the Northridge side. So I think the median's more realistic. So at 9.5, just don't consider this game to have a ton of value. Think more like 3.5 points of value for me. Oregon State, UCLA, played as well. Matchups just kind of meh. I don't see any major advantages for turnover, rebounding, free throw rates. My only trepidation is the last time I played Oregon State. I think they lost by 40 at elevation in Colorado. So they've obviously played well lately. Trend versus Mirage, I don't know. The fact that shot quality is kind of sticking with those performances, I think is good. North Dakota, South Dakota, I think this is a shooting contest. There's going to be a lot of jump shots. And just based on the matchup, I think North Dakota is going to get more shots off, meaning they're going to force more turnovers. I think they're going to rebound more misses. So in a shooting contest, give me the team that has better shooters and I think gets more shots off even in a road environment there. So the yellow ones, haven't bet yet, but doesn't mean I'm out on them. So starting with Long Beach State and Cal State Bakersfield, interesting shot quality number. That kind of stands out. The recent shot quality being around 13.3. But even year to date, with the home court added in, Cal State Bakersfield being higher than Beach. KenPom at 3, line at 3.5. So if this line was 1.5 or 2, kind of some lessons learned from last night. I had Wake Forest by 2, St. John's by 2. The line was getting 2. There's just not many outs there. Like, if you think the team's going to win by 2 points, like in this case, if they don't win and the game's tied with 2 minutes to go, like both teams were, you're relying on the run out there at the end. So getting a +2, there aren't many outs. Getting a +3.5, you're feeling a little bit better. I mean, even if, you're dead to rights down 6 with 5 seconds left, maybe you bang the 3 at the end, but covering the 2 a little bit harder. So some rambling there. Sorry about that. UT RGV. What's the story here? Bad teams. A lot of turnovers on both sides. A lot of rebounding opportunities because neither can limit offensive rebounds. A lot of fouls. Both teams draw and commit lots of fouls. 5.5. It's a fast-paced game, but feeling okay about that one looking at the matchup. Next up, Cal and Arizona. When this line kind of first came out, I looked at some of the Paddy stuff, shot quality stuff. Arizona's obviously had their ups and downs, but if you look at their profile, which I can just bring up real quick, let's show all. What do you think's more likely? The 17 games in the green in terms of their adjusted defense, or those 3 outliers that happen to be in that Paddy data set? 2 of them, the Stanford game and the Oregon State game, they got torched from 3-point range. Going to be hard to have a good defense or win a game where the other team's hitting 60, 70% of their threes. The other thing that stands out to me, and I remember I see that line, I'm like, oh, Mark Madsen as a dog, as a big dog? I bet he hasn't been blown out this year. I look, he's only been blown out once at home to Arizona. So kind of scared off by that. But Cal comes in 108th in Torvik. So look at how Arizona's performed at home. UCLA game, not so much. Arizona didn't shoot the ball well, winning by 6 at home. But dispatching USC by 15, Utah by 20, Colorado by 50, Wisconsin by 25, Colgate by 40, UT Arlington by 50, Belmont by 30. Those are some scary, scary performances. That team can go nuclear. I basically put them in the Bama category at this point of like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know where you would feel safe or where you would feel dead if you were betting either side. I just think there's a tremendous amount of variance there. You kind of saw it last night with Bama. Like, oh, well, Georgia's up like 15 points. Like, slam dunk. Like, not so fast, my friend. Kind of dangerous. Liberty, New Mexico State. So I like situations like this where it shows as a data play, even when like recent 3-point performances actually favor the other side, because that means despite, recent 3-point variance that, could regress, still showing as data play. I think that's good. So the problem here is New Mexico State forces lots of threes, not good when it's Liberty. Liberty, historically known, and this year shooting tons of threes. So they're going to have opportunities, home gym versus road gym. I'm sure Liberty makes way more at home than on the road. But the New Mexico State defense has been significantly better at home. Little Rock, SIU, Edwardsville. Looking at recent performances, this seems a little 3-point driven on the Edwardsville defense side. What I mean by that is if you look it up, opponents have made like 15% of their last 43s or something like that. Stuff tends to regress, so opponents likely to make more over the course of time. Sometimes that snaps right into place. But the thing that's helping me out here is the shot quality season to date numbers at 4 and the shot quality recent up to 25. So shot quality is kind of on our side there, even though I think the data might be a little misleading. Cleveland State, Detroit, the Paddy median is within 1.5 of the spread. That's never great. And then just looking at Cleveland State's schedule, they have played plenty of bad teams this year, and they're not really blowing anybody out. So I don't know. It's just Detroit obviously hasn't won a game this year. Will they win this one? I don't know. But covering 3 possessions on the road with a team that hasn't really shown the ability to put teams away, not my favorite spot. I've plugged this blog, Twitter account for years, but Jordan Majeski, he's on Twitter. He also has a blog that's $10 a year. It's the easiest $10 you'll ever spend in your life. Staring at the floorboards. He wrote up the Youngstown State, Wright State game. I like to see his thoughts kind of matched with data, and looking at the data, it looked like this was a good spot for Youngstown State's offense. His matchups are indicating that is indeed true. On the defensive side, he indicates that Wright State operates inside, trying to get as much scoring inside as possible. So the status of Youngstown State's big man is of importance here. He's a 7'3" guy. He had 6 blocks in their first game. So that was a 10-point win at home. So this is a fair line, shot quality, Paddy, all on the Youngstown State side. But I don't know. It's a little thin. I think the status of that big man is worth noting. The other yellow game here is probably too thin. So, yeah, kind of the aggregate here is around 5, 5.5. This is 7. If we got to 8, probably worth firing it off at 5:58 p.m. and then losing the bet and being like, why did I bet that at the last minute? That's what I do. So that is what I'm looking at. I've played 3 so far, likely play 3 to 4 more. It's a Thursday, pretty full schedule, and Fridays rarely have many games. So that's what I'm looking at on my end. Thanks for stopping by. This is Cutting Down the Nets. Good luck, everybody.